Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is the first vlog for the month of October, and it is also the second vlog in my Clear the Cart challenge that I'm trying to do by the end of the year. So in this vlog, we're gonna have 4 physical books and 1 ARC that I need to read. I started that ARC this morning. It is called Overdue by Stephanie Perkins, and it is about a librarian who is like taking a break from a relationship she's been in for years because her and this guy were like each other's first boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's been almost a decade or over a decade they've been together, still haven't committed to marriage. So they're like, well, maybe it's just because we want to see what else is out there. So they're taking a break and she's trying to like explore the world, explore other options. And then they're gonna come back together, maybe, and get back together. I think that's the whole premise of it. But the whole point is her trying to figure out what she wants, including with this other guy that she was with forever, and I also believe this newer guy. So I think this is going to be more about her self-discovering like what she really wants in life and not just falling back on what feels comfortable. But so far I like it. They're very long chapters. That is the only like downside to it. I don't love long chapters. I'm like 20% of the way through the book and I've only read 4 chapters. So very long chapters. But it's a very interesting story, and like I'm really cheering for her to get with this other guy. So I think the way that it's being written is really making me like eager to pick it up. But the whole premise is like she's just trying to explore something outside of this long-term relationship she's had. And then I think obviously gonna have to make a decision about if she wants to move forward with something else or if she wants to move forward with this guy that she's been with forever. That seems to be the basic premise of the story. Enjoying it so far. I also picked up The Rag Picker King by Cassandra Clare, and I'm about 90 pages into this now as well. And I am still remembering like what happened in the last book. It's coming back to me now, about 50 pages in. I was like, okay, I think I'm good. I remember the characters and everything very well. It was just like the storyline. I couldn't remember exactly what the big event was, but they jump into it very quickly at the beginning, and I was like, yeah, I remember now. So that was my biggest fear going into this, was that I was going to be very lost on the storyline and where we were from the last book, but we're good on that. This is Cassandra Clare's adult debut. This is the second book in the Chronicles of Castelline. First book was The Swordcatcher, and we're following basically 3 main characters. We're following Connor, who is the Crown Prince, Kell, who is his sword catcher, basically his body double, and Lynn, who is, I forget how they say the name of her people, but she's like this oppressed group of people within the kingdom, and they have magic and everything. And there's like a storyline going on with her within her own people, but also like she's a medicine woman, essentially. She heals. And they all were entwined in the first book, and things got kind of messy towards the end with not only like the relationships between the 3 of them, but like things that were happening within the kingdom that are now affecting all of them. I would show you the naked hardback on this, but it is a spoiler. It is stunning. I don't think my sword catcher looks like this. I'd have to look at it. But I took the dust, I had to put the dust jacket back on as to not show you it. But I took it off to read this yesterday and was like, whoa, spoiler A. B, gorgeous. So if you have this book and you like just haven't looked at the, like just haven't read it and haven't looked at the under part of it yet, look at it, it's gorgeous. But I'm enjoying it so far, jumping back into it. Cassandra Clare's writing is very easy to read, very fun to read. Her worlds are fun, her like characters are fun. And there's a little bit of yearning going on in here, and I love a good yearning plot line. So that is the other one I'm already reading. And then the final 3 books I'm going to be reading for this are all physical books, but the 2 that I'm going to physically be reading, because I cannot get them on Kindle or Libby right now, are Stealing Home by Grace Riley, which is the 3rd book in her Beyond the Play series. And this follows Sebastian and Mila, and I believe that like they're living together for the summer, and they kind of were together in previous books, but I think she doesn't want something serious, but he does, so that's just kind of their dynamic. As far as I know right now, he's a baseball player. I think she's like an artist. I can't remember what she does. It's been a while since I read the 2nd book. I'm also going to be reading Destructively Mine by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the 2nd book in the Webs We Weave series. The first book was Dishonestly Yours. And it's kind of like 2 con families, and there's a relationship between the son from one and the daughter from another, and there's a lot of mess going on. It's a very messy situation. But the daughters from each of the family are best friends, and they're trying to get away from the family, but the families don't want to let go of them that easily. So there's a lot of mess with that. But it's essentially a romance. And then I did get this on Libby the other day, so I'm gonna read this as my other like Kindle read for when I'm done with Overdue, and that is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. This is the third book in the Ember and the Ashes quartet, and I'm very excited to jump into this because of how the last book ended. I just finished the second book last month, and I'm excited to finish out this series and get to air before the end of the year. So I wanted to at least get this one read, and it is on my TBR that I chose for the month. So I think all of these are, except for Stealing Home, we're on the chosen TBR for the month. So yeah, I'm very excited to get back into that world. So right now, we're reading Overdue / The Ragpicker King, and we'll go from there. I will come back when I've gotten further with one or finished one. We'll see. I have a very busy weekend. I have a lot of books I want to read by the end of the year, so I'm a little stressed out when it comes to that. I don't want reading to be stressful, but I also just want to read right now, but everything is happening in my life. So here's to hoping I get more time to read this weekend than I think I will, but we'll see. I will update at some point this weekend, probably, regardless. Oh, another side thing. I did start reading Dracula. I'm not going to have it finished, but just know that I am reading it, and when I do finish it, whichever vlog I'm filming at that point in time, I will talk about it. But this is going to take me, like, probably the whole month to get through. So I did start. I'm only 2 chapters in. I'm trying to read, like, a chapter a day. So that was a side note. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so I have finished the first 2 books in this vlog. I finished up The Ragpicker King by Cassandra Clare, and this is better than the first one. And I think it's just because the first one, obviously, had to build the story, learn the characters and everything. Like this one, the plot just picked up, and it was so good. I was guessing the whole time. There were, like, so many twists and turns and, like, good plot, like, surprises throughout, especially the, like, last third of the book. So good. 5-star read. I cannot wait to see. I think there's at least one more book, and I did see what it's called. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's at least one more book. I thought there was supposed to be 4, but it may just be 3 now, but I'm still very excited just to see, like, how she concludes the series, because it left off on a cliffhanger. There's a lot going on. I do hope we do not have to wait as long as we did for the next book as we did for this one, because I need to know. Like, I put this off, but at the same time, like, now I have to just wait. So it's a little sad. But can't talk too much about what happens in this plot other than what, like I said, in the first book, because obviously it'll give stuff away, but we're just still following our 3 main characters. They're just diving deeper into, like, the betrayals and, like, all of the underhandedness and, like, stuff that's trying to go on the hill, which is, like, the castle, like, the kingdom part of it. So very excited to read the next one. Loved this book. 5 stars. Cassandra Clare does it again. So good. So good. The, like, character development and everything, and, like, the plot development in this book was just chef's kiss. Perfectly done. I also finished up Overdue by Stephanie Perkins, and I really enjoyed this book. I think it started off a little slow for me just because, like, it, I think, was supposed to be a slow burn, and it is a romance, but it really does focus on, like, our main female lead trying to, her name's Ingrid, and trying to find herself. Like, she's about to turn 30 and she's kind of questioning everything, like her career, the long-term relationship she's been in, like, is this really what she wants? And that's the main plot of the book, is, like, them kind of stepping outside of their relationship and giving other things a try, because they've been together for so long. They want to make sure they're ready to take the next step together. And that just kind of sets off a whole slew of events for Ingrid, and just discovering herself and who she really wants to be and who she wants to be with. And I think it's a very interesting, like, character study for someone older than our character, but still in that kind of same understanding. And it's like, am I doing what I want to do, and am I enjoying it? And just kind of, like, realizing you get this one life, and live it the way that it should be lived. Don't think that you have to do what other people want or what other people think is the right move for you. Like, it is okay to start over, or to make decisions outside of the scope of what people think. And I really did enjoy that. I gave it a 4-star and highly recommend the book. It comes out tomorrow from the day I'm filming this, October 7th. But it was just so well done, and so much more than a romance. And I think the way that it was written, as much as, like, the slow burn bugged me, it was written perfectly, and that part of the story was perfect. So yeah, the frustration was there, but I understand why it happened the way it happened. So perfectly done. I'm now reading Stealing Home by Grace Riley. This is the 3rd book in her Beyond the Play series, and I'm enjoying this so far. We're following Sebastian and Mia, and we kind of got a little bit of them in Breakaway, which was the previous book, because it is the 3rd brother, which is, he's the adopted brother, and then Mia is the best friend of our FMC from Breakaway. So like this kind of started in the last book, and that is the premise of this, is that they were just kind of hooking up, friends with benefits. Like both of them were kind of just previously players, I guess you could say. They just kind of played the field, but then they found each other, and there was like that like slight more addiction to each other than they had with previous partners. And Sebastian wanted more, she didn't. And this is kind of the aftermath of that, him trying to convince her to give him a chance and break down her walls and figure out why she's so reluctant to be in a relationship. She just wants to hook up. So far I'm really enjoying it. They're living together for the summer because they're both on campus for the summer. Everybody else is kind of gone. He's there for baseball, she's there for an internship, and something happens and she needs a place to stay. So that is kind of where we're at right now. Enjoying it so far. I have enjoyed the series. I do recommend it. There's still one more book left. I don't know when I'll get to it, hopefully by the end of the year. And I've also started A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. I'm about 15-20% of the way through this. I started it at the gym this morning, and this is the third book in the Ember and the Ashes series, and based on what happened in the second book, which if you've read the series, you know a lot happened in the second book, and there's a lot of consequences to things that happened in the second book. We're just kind of dealing with that right now. And there's definitely a lot more going on in this world, and a lot more like who you can trust, what's going to happen. I don't know where the plot's going to go at this point, but it's like every chapter so far, and I'm only 20% of the way in, has just been like shocking. So really enjoyed this quartet so far, so I'm hoping the final two books don't disappoint. But I have one more obviously after this because it's the third one. So far enjoying it. Obviously can't talk too much about the plot. Again, these series vlogs are very difficult to do when I talk about series books, but I do, again, recommend this series so far. It is very fun. It is quick. It's YA, so it reads really quick, but it's also so interesting and there's so much going on. So that's where I am with that right now. I don't know the exact page count because I'm actually reading it on the Libby app, but that's where I am. I will update more once I've gotten further or finished one of these books, and we'll talk about the final book for the vlog. Okay, update. I finished up Stealing Home last night, and I gave this 3.75 stars. I liked this. This might, I don't know, this series has been like a 3.5 average, I think, star read for me. I think this might be my favorite so far. I don't know. I really liked our female main character, Mia, because she was kind of a badass. She was in STEM, so like I could relate. But I just like her family dynamics I couldn't relate to. Sebastian is honestly just like a golden retriever. That is his name, right? Yeah. Golden retriever boy. Obsessed with her. Like everything she does is gold. So that was really cute and everything. And she's definitely like black cat. So it was like golden retriever, black cat. And having her reasons for not wanting to be in a relationship and stuff, and them just figuring that out. But it was close proximity because they were living together for the summer because she needed a place to stay, and he offered her his sister's room because she was out in New York for an internship. And they had a history and everything, and everything just kind of all fell back into place for them. So I really enjoyed this. Fun times. It was a sports romance, I'd say, but the baseball wasn't like a huge part of it. Like the sport itself, like the impact on his life was a big part of it, but the sport itself was not like a huge part of the book. So I did appreciate that as well. I'm like 65% of the way through A Reaper at the Gates. I've been using this as my gym book. So I do want to read a little bit more tonight and then hopefully finish this one up tomorrow. But I'm enjoying this one, just not as much as the last one. Like this feels like a filler book for me. I think we're getting a lot more like history. Like this is doing a lot of the world building that maybe was skipped over or glossed over in the previous two books. So it is a little bit slower, I think, than the previous one. So that's not great. So I'm hoping the fourth one comes out strong. But I already kind of feel like this one's not going to be as high of a rating as the last one was. But I'm still enjoying it. I still love our characters and everything. I don't love the different... We're following three main characters. We're following like our FMC and our MMC and then another side character. Those are the POVs we get. And I don't like how like different their stories are. They're related, but they're all very separate, and yeah, that's kind of not making it, makes the book move faster, but I wish they were like more converged, which could happen in the next one. There's just a lot going on and not a lot going on at the same time, if that makes sense. So still enjoying it, still will obviously read the fourth book, and I can't wait to see how this one ends, but yeah, it's just a little slower for me than the last one, so that was a little disappointing. And then I have started, I'm about 100 pages into Destructively Mine, which is the second book in the Webs We Weave series. And I did just find out that the third will be the final one. And I think it's called Dangerously Ours. And that comes out in like May or something. I can't remember. But these all follow the same couple. And it, like I said previously, is two con families. And one is the daughter from one and the son from the other. That's the couple. And them just kind of trying to have a relationship around also trying to get away from their families because they don't want to do this anymore. And then also this whole thing's been in the middle of a con itself. So there's just a lot of drama, a lot of family drama, a lot of like drama. It's very interesting. And it just ended off on like quite the like chapter cliffhanger. So I'm curious. It's kind of a funny cliffhanger, but I'm curious to see where it's going to go from that point, because like what happened, I was like, no, it was just one of those like moments, but enjoying it so far. I do like Kristen Becker Ritchie's writing. I have read the first 4 books, I want to say, of the Addicted series. I do want to finish that. I don't own them physically. I may eventually buy them. My biggest fear is that I'm going to start buying them and then they're going to get like new covers. That is my biggest fear, because I don't love the covers. I don't hate them. They're just kind of, they don't do anything for me. So that's why I've never rushed out to buy them, or like somebody will release a box set of them like right after I start buying them. That's my fear. But I have this one, and then I did just get Burn Bright, which is, I believe, still part of the Callaway universe. So that was in a book box. But I do like their writing. It is kind of messy. It is kind of like drama filled, and I do like that every now and again. So they're good for that. So I will update when I'm done with one of these. Both of these, we'll find out. Okay, so final update, wrapping this one up. I finished out both of these yesterday. Well, actually this last night. So we'll go reverse. Like I had previously said, this book was a little slower than the previous one. It picked up more towards the end. It was more interesting towards the end. So that is hopeful, like good hopes for the next book. But yeah, I just like didn't love this one as much. So I only ended up giving this one 4 stars. But overall, I'm still really enjoying the series. I was a little upset with one of the like storylines and the arc that it took in this book. So that could have also been why I just wasn't loving this one as much. But I am interested to see how she wraps it up and then goes into Air, which is like the spin-off series of this. So one more book left in the series, 4 stars for this one. I finished up Destructively Mine last night, and I cannot wait again to see how this wraps up, because there were so many like plot twists, I want to say, towards the end, or like surprises for these families at the end that I like didn't see coming. Things were alluded to, but I think like the way that she ended up telling the audience, like the reader, what was going on and like where the direction she actually ended up they ended up taking things was really interesting and fun. And like I just love these. They're so dramatic and honestly extremely unrealistic. In my mind they're unrealistic, but they're just fun. And she introduced a little bit more of a different like love story, like a romance storyline for some other characters that now I'm very interested in. So can't wait to see the third one in this. This I gave a 4.25. I had finished up Stealing Home by Grace Riley previous to that, and I gave this 3.75. Overdue by Stephanie Perkins, I gave 4 stars. Really did love that book. If you love books, like you'll love that book. And then of course we started the vlog with Cassandra Clare's Rag Picker King, and I gave this 5 stars. I love this series. I love Cassandra Clare. Like, the woman can do no wrong. So if you loved Shadowhunters and you want more of like an adult setting, definitely pick up the Chronicles of Castelline series. First book is Swordcatcher, so really enjoyed that one as well. So 4 more books off of my TBR for the end of the year, 4 more books off my physical TBR. I just feel like they come in as fast as I read them, so I hate when I get so excited to take a book off of my physical TBR list, but I've just added like 3 because I have pre-orders and stuff. But anyway, we're still making progress on some of the older books, some of my series. These were all part of a series except for Overdue by Stephanie Perkins, so that's also good, is that I got further in those. So yeah, let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know if you're reading any of these series. Thoughts, opinions, whatever, in the comments below. I thank you so much if you've made it this far. And that concludes the second official video for Clear the Cart, but we'll see how the rest of the year goes. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.